Hi guys, now usually mainstream media is way off the mark when it comes to what it's like to own an EV. I always get a flood of messages from people anytime there's a TV programme on or an article in the mainstream papers about how inaccurate it is and that I should do a video about it. So I suppose you could say this is kind of like a pilot, if you like, for a bit of a sideline content. So if there is a mainstream media, usually, article or TV programme that you want me to cast an eye over, send it in the comments below or ideally on Twitter. I am EVman UK. Now this particular article is from the very pro EV people at the Daily Mail. So do we think this is going to be A, accurate, or B, biased in any way? Now just to clarify, I am of course going to be biased on the EV side of things. I'm not pretending otherwise, nor am I a journalist. But this is from, just so everybody is aware, the Daily Mail of course, and a Louise Atkinson, who, according to a quick Google, is a freelance journalist slash writer slash editor with a strong specialism in diet, nutrition, exercise and health. So let's get on with it. As I said, it's on the Daily Mail, and the article's headline is "Electric cars, they are shockingly bad." Shockingly bad because it's electric. Right, I won't go through the entire article word for word, but I will post it in the description below. So if you do want to read it in full, go in the description below and you can knock yourself out on that one. So we have a few bullet points. BMW, Renault, Nissan, Citroen and Jaguar join Tesla in the electric car revolution. BMW, Renault, Nissan and Citroen have been doing this from kind of like 2010, 2012 onwards, so it's not exactly a new thing for them really, but I'm being picky now, really I'm being picky. That's not what I intended on doing this one. Louise Atkinson trials the Renault Zoe, which claims to have a range of 160 miles. She finds the charging situation a nightmare and charging at home difficult. So now it goes on like a time diary sort of thing, you know, like June, July, that sort of stuff. Skeptical husband, June 17th. My car lease is up for renewal and the idea of an EV excites me. The monthly lease payments are similar to my old Igo, but fuel costs will be quartered, saving up to £2,000 each year. Interesting, they haven't led with that as the article headline, but there must be a reason. Well, let's plug on. I picked the Renault Zoe because it is small, sporty looking and claims to have a range of 160 miles on one charge, double the Nissan Leaf. The Nissan Leaf has a official range which is about 130-40 miles, I think. You're looking at the previous Leaf there. Again, I would expect some fact checking to go on here. I'm being picky again, but it hasn't got double the range of a Nissan Leaf. It's got about 20 miles more than the Leaf does. My husband John begs me to reconsider, informing me that the world isn't ready yet. Yeah, I would agree. A lot of that is correct. Battery powered cars are pretty mainstream now. What can possibly go wrong? I order the car. Right, so July 16. My electric car is here. It is beautiful. Unfortunately, it's like a Christmas present without batteries. It sits on our drive, but the battery is nearly empty, so I can't take it for a spin. Why not just go and pick it up at the dealer? That's more exciting. There's a charge cable in the boot which fits both public and special home charging units, but no 3-pin plug adapter for me to hook it up to the mains. As I leap in, John is sceptical. Do you know how to charge it? No. Right, let's just halt a second here. You ordered it June 16 and it arrived, June 17 and it arrived July 16. So basically a month later. Then you ask yourself, do you know how to charge it? No. So you've had this thing on order for a month and you only ask yourself when it arrives that you don't know how to charge it. I mean, come on. Have you not looked at the Renault brochure? Have you gone into a Renault dealership? Have you asked someone about it? Have you looked on awesome YouTube channels? I mean, you know, Google, hello? What you've done there is basically bought some fish from the pet shop, got home and realised you don't have an aquarium to put them into. Then thought, I'll do an article because the pet shop didn't tell me I need an aquarium to put these fish in. If you're watching this, Louise, seriously, you've had a month to find out something that is a 2-minute Google away. Well, let's move on. It might get better. Fearing the battery will die in a minute, I crawl to the supermarket 6 miles away to find our nearest public point. Plug in the cable, nothing happens. It goes on that, tries everything, speaks to the charge network themselves, and it turns out that it is faulty, is the public network. She then drives very slowly to the next one at a gym car parks and finally plugs in. So she's basically saying that the public charging infrastructure, the first one she tried, didn't work. I have absolutely no problems with this at all. I have always said, up to now, the public charging infrastructure, especially if you cannot charge at home, is woefully, shockingly bad, dare I say. I completely agree with this point that you're making here. First point you go to doesn't work. It is something we've all come across. So yes, I have no problem with that point. But you shouldn't have been in this position in the first place because you've had a month to sort this out. Right, 4 days later. I love my electric car. It drives like a dream. Excellent. But the charging situation is a nightmare. Without a plug at home, I am reliant on public points, but these, it turns out, are scarce and notoriously glitchy. I agree. With an electric car, you have to meticulously plan every journey. You don't, do you? Just the unfamiliar ones. I do a 600-mile round trip to get to my mum and dad's. I'm that familiar with it, I don't need to plan it. So again, I'm being a little bit picky here, but people will read this who know nothing about them and believe every word that you write. That's why I'm being picky. There's no joined up thinking. Some public charge points require you to download an app, input credit card details, some ask for a card. Yeah, I agree. With a myriad of different charge networks, different charge points, of which I have done a video about, by the way, basically telling you about the UK's charge infrastructure. Go and look at my channel if you want to find out more. Driving my electric car is starting to engender a state of low bubbling stress. When I wake each morning, my first thoughts are, how much charge have I got and where am I going to charge? So it's obviously playing on her mind. Right, July 25th, I asked my lease company, Drive Electric, for advice about installing a home charging point. It gives me a list of 50 companies to contact. Right, okay, hang on a minute. Let's stop again. Right, so not only did you take delivery on the 17th of July of your car, after sitting on it for a month and doing no research, but you take delivery of it and then wait 9 days before you ask a company about what to do about installing a home charge point. I mean, you're not helping yourself, are you, really? 9 days after you get the car, you ring the lease company, of all places, about what you need to do to get a charging point. Why not, I don't know, Google home charging points. Home charging points. Oh, look, it comes up with lots of companies in my area. That took me all of 10 seconds. Yeah, I'm being a little facetious here, but again, 9 days after taking delivery of a car, you ring up the leasing company who give you a list of 50 companies because you can't use Google, it seems. I mean, you're a journalist. Surely research is second nature. Come on. Next day, after failing to find a charging point that works and limping home amid a deafening cacophony of low battery alarms, nice, my neighbour kindly lets me plug into a home charging. Wait a minute, your neighbour has an EV. How did you get in this situation? Your neighbour owns an electric car and has a home charging unit. Why, in that month, did you not talk to them? Just think, if you'd have visited this neighbour in the middle of June, just after you ordered the car, none of this would have happened. From a tangle of cables she keeps in the boot, I select a 3-pin plug charging lead to feed through our letterbox. Pardon me, start breakfast. It works, but the process is slow, nearly 23 hours. It's off a 3-pin plug, I guess. And worryingly, the kids complain that the Xbox is giving off an alarming whining noise. So I assume what you're trying to say there is basically, when you're charging the car off the 3-pin plug socket, the Xbox starts whining. Now, it's good that you put something in the article that's potentially massively misleading people into thinking something's dangerous based on what your kids are telling you. But just to give you a little bit of technical details here, when the lead you're using will run at about 3 kilowatts, which is the same as a kettle. So if that happens when you plug a car into a plug socket, it should happen when you plug your kettle into the same socket. So I would suggest there's something wrong with your house. 5 days later, I emailed Renault. Why not ring them? I emailed Renault to ask if I can buy an adapter so my charging cable can fit an ordinary 3-pin plug. £495 in a household plug socket. Yeah, that is ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, £495 even for. I mean, it's quite a complicated thing that you get in. It has to work outside in the rain, all that sort of stuff, and accredited. But £495 is ridiculous. I completely agree with you on this one. However, there will have been a tick box on your options list when you ordered your car that said 3-pin plug socket or something to that effect. I got mine with my Leaf because it came with my Leaf. Not all models do, but a lot of cars come with these. Your car didn't. It doesn't mean every car is the same. But yeah, I will agree with you. Your point of saying that this is ridiculous in pricing terms is very, very true. The fact that you didn't know it exists, again, is down to your own lack of research. When I balk at the price, they tell me all Renault Zoe owners qualify for a free home charger via an arrangement with a company called ChargeMaster. Really? That would have been nice to know from the start, she states. Let's go on Renault's website right now, shall we? Right, Renault Zoe. That's what I'm typing into Google. Right, here we go. This is the Renault Zoe website. Wait a minute. What's this on the first page of the Renault Zoe? Free home charging. Free wall box. Look at that. Look at that. Literally a 30-second Google gives me all the information I need. You're basically saying that nearly a month and a half after you order the car, you just find out that you get something for free that is on the first page of the Renault Zoe website. When did we get to this entitlement stage that basically says everyone should tell me everything? I do not need to do any work myself. It should all be laid out in front of me. Right, charge point installation day. I can't quite believe my charging stresses are nearly over. They're not. Within minutes, the engineer identifies 2 crucial cables that link our fuse box to our electricity meter that must be updated first, and this can only be done by the regional electric company. Nobody had mentioned that old electrics such as ours might need to be updated. Again, it kind of goes back to that. I haven't done any research on this. Again, just to give you a bit of details, a home charging point would use up to 7 kilowatt hours of energy. Okay, 7 kilowatts. An electric shower would use around 9. So where's the article saying electric showers are ridiculously bad or so shockingly bad because when you install one, you sometimes have to have an upgrade to your house to get it installed. I mean, it's just like any other electrical appliance, high demand electrical appliance. It shouldn't be a shock to you. It then goes on that it's a ridiculous bureaucracy of getting the power company to do these things. Of course, they're not going to come out the next day, are they? This power company is being ridiculous. September 15th, John thinks I'm mad to want to drive 97 miles from home in the Cotswolds to Gatwick and leave the car at the airport for a few days while I'm on a trip. But I plan the run meticulously with enough time for a 1-hour charging stop on the way. Well, if you set off with a full charge, you won't need to charge at all. I barely sleep the night before, but to my amazement, everything works like a dream. Good stuff. October 26th, nearly 4 months, I think, after ordering the car. Installation day. My home charger is fitted and my lovely electric car is plugged in at home, finally. Owning an electric car has been an exhausting labour of environmentally friendly love. It drives like a dream, and incredibly, thanks to free public chargers, I have driven 3,000 miles on less than £20 of electricity. Why not do a headline that says, electric cars are shockingly cheap to run? No, that wouldn't get people clicking on it, would it? Not negative enough. But I wouldn't rush to recommend getting a pure electric car yet. This is the future of driving, but the charging infrastructure is chaotic and disorganised, and drivers like me are getting very bumpy ride. Now, shall we kind of summarise this a bit? This entire article, even though the headline says electric cars are shockingly bad, it's all basically about the power company being slow, and the person who ordered the car not doing any research, not talking to their neighbour, not looking on a brochure, not looking on a website, not using Google, not using common sense. I'm sorry, Louise, if you're watching this, but am I wrong? You had a month to kick this process off, and you just sat on your ass for, what, 6-7 weeks before you even looked into getting a home charger. If you're buying an electric car, surely how to charge it is the first thing you do after ordering the car. You know, there has to be some responsibility on the person buying the product to get everything in place. If you'd have just gone down the line of having got the public charging infrastructure, I'd have been all with you on this one. If you'd have gone down the line of saying electric cars are really cheap to run and they're brilliant to drive, but be aware of these things when you order one. Learn from my experience. But no, rather than try and help people, you've just gone down the line of trying to click this clickbait title. And if you look on Miss Atkinson's Instagram, this is what she's put up. I love my electric car more than any car I've ever owned, but public charging is a complete nightmare. The diary of my shambolic first months has kicked up a storm of vicious comments in the Daily Mail and on Twitter, but I just hope this helps others thinking of making the switch. It is not a helpful article in any way for me. It is just a diary of how negatively you can spin things. If you are watching this and you do want to help people into EVs, I am more than happy to have a chat with you online. This is something I do quite often, a live stream with someone over Skype, FaceTime or something like that, where I basically talk to someone on YouTube, live, not biased in any way. I would love to do that with you. Me and you on YouTube live, people can join in on the comments and we can basically either discuss your article if you believe I'm wrong. You know, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm an opinionated person about EVs as well. I'm biased. I'm not arguing that fact. So yeah, the invitation is open if you want to come on this porky little YouTube channel to discuss EVs or your article or both. So yeah, if anybody is watching this, what do you think? Have a look at the article, link in the description as I said. Look in the comments below at what people are going to say. I'm sure it will be interesting. And tell me what you think. Am I being harsh? Is she correct? Is she wrong? Is it biased? Is it biased rather? But don't go on Twitter to have a go at Miss Atkinson. That is not what I am wanting anyone to do. I don't want you to do that. I want this to be constructive criticism, not just vicious comments, as she said. I mean, I get vicious comments on a little YouTube channel. She must have all sorts by going on the Daily Mail. And it's awful. People have a go at your family for no reason. It's just not nice. So don't do that. That is not what I want to happen. Right, that's it, guys. If you, again, have any articles or TV programs that you want me to have a look at, feel free to send it and I might do a video about it because I could do with some extra content. So as usual, thank you for watching and I'll see you soon.